Most of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Cameron. He had his stem cell treatments in 2006. Before the stem cell treatments, well, when he was diagnosed, we didn't know how severe his deficiency was, because he was too young to tell us, of course, but we knew he had some light awareness because he would blink his eyes and squint when he came into the sun. But other than that, there seemed to be very little vision, maybe shadows. And Cameron always looked down. That was the first clue to me that Cameron's vision improved after he went to China, was the fact that he didn't always look down. He would play with his hands, and this was Cameron all the time, playing with his fingers, looking down. We picked the kids up at the hospital after they went to China, and we put Cameron in the back seat. It was night. We put Cameron in the back seat, in his car seat, and we started home. And I was sitting in the back seat with him when I realized that he was no longer just looking down. He had his head up. He was searching, because as we would go under the lights, the street lights, he was searching for those lights. So that quickly we knew that his vision had improved. Cameron also, a lot of the improvement has come. We didn't know when the stem cells would stop working, and I think they are still working, because we are really seeing improvements recently. He's gotten quite a little personality. He's very stubborn. He will let you know when he's unhappy with whatever. But just last week, the most significant improvement is that Cameron had never, he'll throw a ball, it'll go 10 or 15 feet, and he'll scoot right to it and pick that ball up. He has no difficulty finding objects if there's enough contrast between the object and whatever he's on. Now, if it rolls onto a patterned rug or if it rolls behind something, he might have a little difficulty. But he can see a ball that's this size 10 or 15 feet away and scoot right to it. He doesn't have to search at all. He scoots right to it, picks it up, throws it again. But he still would not look at us. He'll look at things. He seems to have peripheral vision rather than frontal vision. And, it's hard. He was our first grandson. When you realize that, they're not ever going to see your face, or that they may not ever see your face, that's a hard thing to get past. Cameron started to school last Thursday, and he's in a center school, and they've really talked a lot about how capable Cameron is. And before the stem cell treatment, we really didn't know just how far Cameron would be able to go. Well, we still don't, but it's starting to be very obvious that he's going to be much more achieving than we ever thought possible when they first told us that he had optic nerve hypoplasia and there was nothing you could do about it. He had this vision, it would never get any better. We started researching and finally found Riley's website, where we found out about Stem Cells China. And it was just a few days after that we got connected and were able to get started on fundraising and plans to go to China. But the most significant event for me with Cameron just happened this past week. Like I said, we'd never had Cameron look at our faces. And last week, Cameron was sitting on my lap, and he's been in speech therapy, and he's really experimenting with the different vocal sounds, and he was going blah, blah, which was his newest sound, and he would do it and I would do it, he would do it and I would do it, and I realized that he seemed to be focusing on my lips, and blah, blah, blah. I realized that he seemed to be looking at my lips, so I stopped saying blah, blah, and started to go, oh, with the O, and he watched me do that just 2 or 3 times, and Cameron started to say, oh, and it was the first time that I believe Cameron ever actually saw my face enough to mimic the shape of my lips and make that sound. So even now, Now, that's true. We did have that. We were in church one day, and the minister was making a point of light in the darkness, and all the lights in the sanctuary were turned off, and he was using a flashlight. And the flashlight, he was just kind of making it go around in circles. The flashlight caught Cameron's eyes, and he started to try to look for it, and he turned and turned and turned until he fell right off his chair. So his visual improvement has been quite significant. Dr. Klein can tell you a lot more about the specifics. We got an excellent report from him, more than I had ever hoped to get. I just can't say enough about what kind of change this treatment's made for Cameron. Like I said, he had very little vision, and now he is not walking yet. He walks everywhere if you're holding his hands, but he scoots himself everywhere. Never runs into anything, finds the things that he wants to find. Had a little brother born last week, and twice I've been holding the baby that Cameron would scoot right over to me and look down at his little brother. So it's really quite a blessing. And he's, as a matter of fact, the baby was crying, and Cameron went over and looked at him, listened to him cry for a while, and then Cameron decided he'd pitch in, and we heard a couple of just, But like I said, I can't say enough about the stem cell treatments, and I think it's just absolutely criminal that they're not available here. So hopefully we can get that changed.